What's up, family? Are we headed to war? Well, in fact, the United States just declared nuclear war against Russia. I got the details to share with you right now, guys. On Thursday, the U.S. Secretary of State, Blinken, he said that Ukraine will become a NATO member. Now, what does this mean for the United States? What does this mean for NATO? What does it mean for other countries? Well, it actually means that we might be going to war directly with Russia. And we have heard this from time to time again. And here we are again, making it official from the U.S. Secretary. And now we are just waiting for the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, to make a statement in regards to this latest information. We have already heard it from him several times in the past, where Putin has stated that if Ukraine ever does join NATO, he says that it is going to be war. And he is talking about war from Russia against the United States. He has said many times that the United States should stay out of this business. They should keep with themselves, and they should not butt into this issue in relation to Russia and Ukraine. But this war, this unprovoked war, has been going on for 24 months now, and things are not progressing from the war. And now they just made it official that we are adding, or the United States is adding, Ukraine to NATO. Now, they did not necessarily say when this is going to happen, but we can only assume that this might actually happen this year in 2024. What does that mean for the United States? Does that mean that once Ukraine becomes a NATO member, that the United States is going to be able to help them in regards to sending our troops over and fighting in this war? Does it mean that, or does it mean that we will continue to keep our posture that we have had, which means that we will continue to provide military equipment and aid to Ukraine? Will we just continue to do that until this war is over? Well, we don't know the details as of yet, but all we know right now is that we are on the potential of going to war. And I'm not talking about just a basic war, which is troops on the ground fighting one another. I am talking about a nuclear war. Yes, we have said it before, and we have heard it before from Vladimir Putin. And just recently, last month, Putin was in an interview talking about his issues with the West, referring to the United States. And Russia said that, look, they are ready for nuclear war. He said that in this particular video right here. I won't necessarily play it for you, but just to summarize, here are some of the key pointers from this particular interview, and you tell me what you think about it, guys. Number one, Russia is ready for nuclear war, according to Vladimir Putin. Also, he said that he is warning the United States against sending troops over to Ukraine to help fight in this war. He also says that Russia is ready for talks or negotiations on the Ukraine situation. He is not necessarily saying that he is ready to raise the white flag, but he is saying that he is open to any type of negotiations. And I would only assume that that could deal with the issue of making sure that Ukraine does not join NATO. However, we just had a shift of direction, so that might not be on the table anymore. And then he also says that the West has failed to defeat Russia many times before. You can see it right here on the screen. I am not making this stuff up, but anyways, President Vladimir Putin told the West on Wednesday during this particular interview that Russia was technically ready for nuclear war, and that if the United States sends troops to Ukraine, it would be considered a significant escalation of the conflict. This was a particular speech during the March 15th through the 17th election season, which it is certain to give him another 6 years in power. Yes, guys, he was nominated to be run again and be the next president of Russia, which obviously there was no one contesting him. You guys know that story. But anyways, guys, does this mean that we are on the verge of going to a nuclear war with Russia? And even in addition to that, guys, even if we do go to some type of war with Russia or a nuclear war with Russia, that is not the only party that we have to deal with. We also have to deal with his buddy, his best friend, Kim Jong-un of North Korea. You guys know what I'm talking about. Both of them have met previously in 2023, where they both agreed that they would supply each other with different types of military equipment, nuclear aid, and share some secrets with one another, basically joining forces against the West or the United States. And as you can see right here in this particular picture, Putin is embracing Kim Jong-un in regards to this particular matter. This was all discussed last year, where they actually met one another while the Ukraine war continued to go on. So yes, guys, even if we do go to war with Russia, I would only assume that North Korea would go ahead and put their hands in the cookie jar and provide some type of defense assistance to help Russia out against the West. And then not only do we have to worry about North Korea, the biggest question is, do we even have to worry about China as well? Well, there is a little bit of discrepancy there, because China puts out various messages that makes us think that China doesn't want any part of that in case that actually happens. Check this out right here, where China has been known to respond multiple times in regards to the use of nuclear weapons or nuclear power, and China continues to put out the same message every single time in regards to every party from the West and the East. They need to focus on de-escalation, de-escalating the issue, the tension between both parties. We do not need to go towards any type of nuclear war, because according to the president of China, he said multiple times that no one wins from a nuclear war. Let's all have a discussion. Let's talk about things. He has also said different things directly to Vladimir Putin in regards to let's calm it down a little bit when we use the term of nuclear weapons. He has said that multiple times. However, Vladimir Putin doesn't necessarily want to hear that type of discussions from either China or the West or anybody. He doesn't want anyone to tell him what to do and what not to do. So therefore, he is not necessarily responding to that. However, it does appear that China continues to try to de-escalate the issues. They have tried to de-escalate the issues in regards to China against the United States as well, saying that, look, I think that we both can come to an agreement. We can both work together. We can both figure this thing out. We don't necessarily have to refer to our nuclear powers or using nuclear weapons against one another, because as he stated that no one wins from a nuclear war. But anyways, guys, what do you think about this? What do you think about Ukraine joining NATO? It hasn't happened yet, guys, but he did make the official statement today, and that was official because it was relaying messages directly from President Biden that Ukraine will become a NATO member. Yes, guys, like I said, I don't know when that is going to actually happen, but I would only assume that that will probably happen sometime this year. And then another layer to that is, what will actually happen in regards to this particular war? Will the U.S. send over the troops? Me personally, I don't think they will, but you never know if they do become a NATO member. The United States or even other NATO members might feel the urge to send over some of their troops to help out in this particular war, which I will say, if that actually happens, that could provoke Vladimir Putin to go ahead and unload these nuclear weapons, nuclear power against the West, referring to the United States, as well as other countries as well. So anyways, guys, I just wanted to plant that on you because you do need to know about it. You do need to know about exactly what is going on and how this is going to affect all of us. This is a huge threat. Like I said, this just came out less than 24 hours ago. So we really haven't received a response from Vladimir Putin as of yet, but I would only assume that he is going to acknowledge this new information about Ukraine becoming a NATO member. He should be responding sometime today, if not by the weekend. As usual, I will keep you guys posted as usual. Now, in other news, in regards to the war in Gaza, I know there are a lot of wars going on all over the world, but anyways, you already know about Israelis continue to pound the Gaza area, and a lot of civilians have lost their lives. And now President Biden, they came out on Thursday saying that he is ordering a ceasefire. Take a look at this right here, guys, where Biden is telling Israelis that the future of U.S. support for war depends on the new steps that they take in regards to protecting the civilians. Yes, guys, we recently were told in regards to this particular, I believe it was a hospital, or I believe it was a kitchen. And yes, that kitchen ended up being attacked, or some type of bomb actually hit it. And pretty much, I believe everyone in that kitchen ended up losing their lives. And now the biggest question is, how do we continue to move forward? But we have got to protect our civilians. Yes, Biden and Netanyahu, I can't say the name, so don't hold me to it, but they have recently spoke about this, and Israelis ended up sending these airstrikes, and one of them actually hit this kitchen that I'm talking about, and it ended up killing 7 food aid workers in Gaza. And yes, guys, like I said, this is just another layer which creates a new form of complications to the leaders that are responsible for this particular war. And President Biden sent out a message saying that, look, this marks a sharp change in his administration to support for Israel's war efforts, with the U.S. leader for the first time threatening to rethink his backing if Israel doesn't change its tactics and to allow much more humanitarian aid into Gaza. The White House would not specify that what that change could be, but it could include altering military sales to Israel and America's diplomatic backup on the world stage. So yes, President Biden has officially announced and stated that he is calling for a ceasefire after the loss of these 7 kitchen aid workers that happened earlier this week. That is devastating. We definitely do not want to see anything like that, but they are not the only lives that have been lost in Gaza. There have been many thousands of lives that have been lost. So as always, guys, I would encourage you to join me so we can continue to pray for those individuals, pray for their families, pray for their friends as well, because the war is not over. The same thing with the war in Ukraine. The war is not over. Pray for all of them out there. A lot of people have lost their lives, including U.S. civilians as well, guys. So anyways, keep them lifted up in your prayers. But anyways, like I said, what is going to happen? Could the United States be on the verge of going into war with Russia, a nuclear war, if that actually happens? But it looks like things are a little bit subtle right now, but we won't know anything until Vladimir Putin gets on the microphone and speaks or sends out a message or something to that effect. We'll find out more information when that actually happens. And then also, we'll probably get even more information once Ukraine joins NATO as a official member. That is when things are going to get a little bit tricky. Right now, it's just all he say, she say. But once it makes it official, that's when things can actually take a turn. Be on the lookout, guys. I will keep you guys posted and updated as usual. And like always, guys, I would appreciate it if you go ahead and hit the like button on this video. It really helps out a lot. And then if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow, as well as share this information with other people. So in the meantime, I will see you guys on the next video.